Hi, I am Tansy. I had been hearing for a long time about an exotic land called the Thale Valley. I had not heard about it, but had happened to see some beautiful still pictures of it. It was so captivating. It seemed to be an enchanting land, a land that seemed to beckon me. I had then decided that I would visit this place one day. But I had not got the opportunity to visit this place till today. As soon as I got the opportunity, I readied myself by doing little study about the place. This place is situated at an altitude of about 10,000 feet and can be approached from zero, which is again 170 kilometers from Itanagar. The word Thale means a plant. It also means paradise in the local dialect. Isn't it just apt for such a beautiful place? Before I got on with this expedition, I was busy packing and getting geared up for facing a life for about a week in the wild, and that too in a fairly high altitude. Now I'm ready, all set to go.
Before the team proceeded further, we took an interview of Mr. Nanisha, who had been the range officer of Thale Valley and had wide experience on the natural habitat of the flora and the fauna.
Sir, can you term Thale Valley as an ecological hotspot? And if so, why?
Yes, Thale Valley is an ecological hotspot, but in general, we term biodiversity hotspots. There are identified biodiversity hotspots in the entire globe. In India, we have two biodiversity hotspots. One is Western Ghats, the other one is Eastern Himalayas, of which entire Arunachal also constitute part of the Eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot. And in Arunachal Pradesh, part of the biosphere hotspot, Thale Valley constitutes a very unique forest type in the hotspot, as because Thale Valley has a reverse ecological presentation. Like the conifers which usually appears on top of the hillocks are found and are coming up in the valley bottom, and the broadleaves, they come in the reverse on the tops of the surrounding hills. That's why Thale Valley represents a very unique forest type.
मेरा नाम श्री बुलोलामपु पुरस्कार, थले वाले का रहने वाला हूँ। आपको आज थले वाले ले जाएगा।
been blocked due to landslide, and I don't know for how long I'll be stranded here. Ah, it's cleared. Now we can go.
It seems as if there is a deep bond between the mists and the mountains, a romance that will last till perpetuity perhaps.
Look at that. Isn't that just wonderful?
And then the time comes to bid goodbye and move on. And now we have reached a place called Hapoli, and it is about 30 kilometers from the Tale Valley and about 15 kilometers from the Pange Valley. As you can see now, there has been a drastic change in the forest type. Earlier near the places of Yazali, we have seen that the forest is mainly of dense rainforest type. The canopy layer forming the top story covered with trees of Luriaceae family like the quercus, magnolia and few rhododendrons. But out here in Hapoli, we find that the forest is of mainly coniferous type. The welcome was quite effusive and warm. The headman and the elder are going towards the community religious center, come sacrificial altar. The lady is bringing apong or rice pizza for the visitors. All the members are having a grand treat. The headman elaborates the significance of Myoko festival, which is held for the well-being of the villagers and especially the male child. The headman and the elder talks about the taboos and prohibitions followed during such festivals as Myoko. During these times, hunting in the forest is strictly prohibited. Those who break this rule are dealt with strictly by the villagers. Fiji, the elder recounts how this tradition was broken by Dulo. Dulo defied the laws of the village and had entered the forest to hunt during such time. He continued these for many days. But ultimately, the elder came to know of this and confronted him. Dulo denied the allegations outrightly, and they exchanged heated arguments. But ultimately Dulo was excommunicated for many seasons, and he was compelled to live a lonely life.
This is Manipolyang, and from here to the Pange Valley we have to trek. However, keeping the logistics in mind, 2 forest ponies were brought here today, and the forest out here is of evergreen type.
The wildlife warden, Mr. Hibu Uma, gave the team some tips on survival and also showed the way through which it is believed that the Batanis had come to this place. At places we were knee-deep in mud and the situation looked hopeless. But it took a supreme effort on our part, and the lure of the land made us labor on. So we went on like an automation, just concentrating on putting on the next step. Our throats were parched, but the sweet water of the streams cooled us and gave us the strength to carry on. The leeches were a great bother. They usually parasites on the mithuns, but our passing would arouse them, and they would either fall from the leaves on us or would cling on to us from the mud. But after some time, we really got used to them.
After an arduous ascent, we have finally reached Tapange Valley. And these shanties are serving as a transit camp to proceed to the Tale Valley. Now I'm dead tired. All I need is a good dinner and good night's sleep.
The conditions of the pack horses were very pathetic. They were slowly trotting with all the loads like the rations and the generator up such narrow trails where it is difficult even for a man.
This is a place of worship for the Apatanis who consider the forest as divine. And these things are the offerings made to the forest gods for the well-being of the people.
Suddenly the whole forest would start smelling very sweet, and then we would come to the flowers, the rhododendrons.